Got some interesting fruits. Avocado, gift from some friends. We've got a plantain here. Have y'all seen this banana before? It's a plantain. Hello, welcome, thanks for coming on. I was just showing some interesting fruits I have. This one is bright yellow inside and really, really delicious. I'm excited to have it soon, let it ripen up a little bit more. And then, do y'all know this one? It's very large. I've actually never seen one of these so large. I didn't recognize it when I saw it at the farmer's market. I was like, what is this? And she said, do you know what it is? It's egg fruit. It's egg fruit, so it'll ripen up and get really, really soft. Hey friends, I'm just talking about fruit as people come on. Welcome in. Thank you for coming here on this beautiful Wednesday morning in Hawaii. Wednesday, whatever time it is for you. Maybe it's not even Wednesday. Here's another fruit here. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. This is a new one for me. This is Abiyu. You can see it's ready to go. Someone might have already gotten in there. We'll have to see. But yeah, this one's really nice. And then I've got this one that I don't remember what this is. So it'll be a surprise. I think it tasted like sugary Meyer lemon. So we shall see. Anyway, thanks for coming, everybody. It is my regular Q&A, normally on Tuesdays, but this week I had to do Wednesday because I was dropping off my friend Tina, who was visiting me. She had to catch her flight yesterday on Kona side, which is like a 2-hour drive, so that was what I was doing yesterday morning, and I'm thankful y'all were able to show up, and I was able to show up today. So let's make this happen. We have some wonderful questions, some big ones. The first question is, what is Ayurveda? And that one I could really spend an entire life talking about. I mean, you could have an entire course. I mean, that's the kind of training I had in Ayurveda. So what is Ayurveda? We'll just kind of scratch the surface. I'll give y'all an overview. It'd be cool to see if any of y'all are familiar with Ayurveda. It is a common question I get. Like, I'm talking about doshas and people are like, what's a dosha? Or I'm talking about Ayurveda and they're like, what does that word mean? So a little bit of demystifying of it. Others of you may be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. You know, it's a holistic healing modality that dates back over 5,000 years ago to ancient India in the time period that is called the Vedas, or the Vedic period, and it was written about extensively back in those times in scholarly texts. Around the same time, there were also a lot of writings about yoga as well, and yoga and Ayurveda are actually like sister sciences. So you know, in the West, we have yoga classes and it's all body movement, or, you know, you might go and study Ayurveda and think about them as two separate things, but really they are very intimately connected. And, you know, yoga can be a part of Ayurveda, an aspect of Ayurveda. It can be a treatment modality used in Ayurveda, by Ayurvedic practitioner, you know, suggesting to a client, you know, go do this meditation. And meditation, of course, is an aspect of yoga, is one of the 8 limbs, or do this pranayama to calm the mental aspects that are flaring up, as many of us know well. So yes, it's a very holistic form of healing. It dates back over 5,000 years ago. As I said, it's a system of medicine, and it teaches us to see the world as it relates to the elements. And the elements kind of conglomerate or coagulate into doshas. And doshas are different combinations of elements that we all have. And we all have all 3 doshas. And those doshas are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha dosha. all living things have combinations of those doshas. So determining your primary dosha can really help you find and hone in on the optimal blueprint for your unique human existence. What else? So Ayurveda, just getting down to the words, breaking it down, is 2 words. It's Aya, which means life or longevity, and Veda, which is science or sacred knowledge. So 2 different translations could be then the science of longevity, the science of life, I'll give you 4 translations, the sacred knowledge of life, or the sacred knowledge of longevity. So longevity science, life science, sacred knowledge having to do with life, having to do with longevity. These are some kind of simple, quick meanings, simple yet deep meanings that this word, this system can have. So it's a holistic tradition and way of living. It's a lifestyle. It's truly a lifestyle medicine. It can help us claim and celebrate our capacity for wellness. And I think that's why I was so drawn to it back 8 years ago when I was really going through a lot of like rock bottom in my life and spiritual awakening starting to really just happen. Like dark night of the soul was giving way into this, finding different ways to heal myself. And I was really drawn to Ayurveda because it was like, no, you're not messed up. Like your environment's messed up and you can change different aspects of your lifestyle. Hey there. And you can really start to see some healing and some benefits in your life. So as well as, this kind of Ayurvedic thinking of like, we are whole, we can claim and celebrate our wellness, goes in line, I think, really well with like the natural hygiene movements and teachings that say, our natural state is health. We need to create health by preparing for ourselves and our lives the correct conditions to support health. So I think they really, really go together super well, and that Ayurveda is just kind of the Indian or like Eastern form of that goes way, way back. But they really have a lot of similar kinds of foundational ideas. Just what does Ayurveda help us with? To sync up with our true nature, meaning physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like our whole true nature. To honor and develop our strengths, so celebrate our strengths, identify what those are, and claim them and embrace them fully. To hone in on our challenge areas, because we all have challenge areas and tendencies that don't serve us and certain obstacles that maybe we're more likely to encounter based on our dosha and our background. As well as to redirect detrimental tendencies, because how often in life are we conditioned in a way that is like ultimately not serving us, and we learn different patterns of behavior. We're trained in different patterns of behavior that don't serve us. So Ayurveda can help us, identify what are some of those patterns and how can I let go of those patterns and start creating more optimal patterns that will serve me long-term in terms of longevity and wellness. It also helps us maintain balance in the face of adversity, because life always throws at us challenges. Just when we think, we're smooth sailing and we're good to go and like everything's, awesome in our life, something really devastating can happen. And it really helps to have a system of healing and of living to make tweaks and adjustments to one's lifestyle to help navigate those challenges and adversity, trauma, stress, etc., losses, grief, deaths, major changes, transitions in our lives, because it's just part of life, y'all know. Especially right now when the world is like, so Ayurveda can really help us when things feel very like out of control and chaotic and maybe scary, maybe super dark, can help us find some of that light and start accessing that inner light and cultivating and bringing more of that forward into the world. So Ayurveda empowers you to be an active participant in your healing journey. Again, that's part of why it was so refreshing to me when I first learned it, because I'd really been grown up and trained in my education and so forth, that, you know, the doctors help you, the psychiatrists help you, they tell you what's wrong with you and they tell you what to do. And it was really, really empowering to feel like, no, like I am the one who can heal. I am the one who is healing. I am the one who can change and start taking my power back, my control back. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Ayurveda history because I think it's really interesting. As I said, it dates back over 5,000 years to the Vedic period in ancient India. The earliest references to yoga and Ayurveda appeared in scholarly texts from the Vedas time period, as I mentioned. It prospered while the Vedic texts were being taught. For many years, they were just taught and shared and decimated across the population. But there was about 1,000-year struggle when India was in a lot of different political conflicts with invading nations, particularly the British Empire. And during that time, Ayurveda really struggled to be relevant and to be, you know, a force of what it was. It was kind of like on the back burner, and fringe practitioners during that time were the ones who secured and protected and, you know, really safeguarded the traditions, the ways, the methods, the strategies of Ayurveda during that time. And thankfully they did that and were able to hold on to it, so that by the time things, you know, settled down, India gained independence in 1947, that those practitioners had kept it alive, and it really, after that, emerged as a major system of medicine and healthcare in India, and it still remains to be so till this day. I was really blown away. I went to India in 2017, and like there are Ayurvedic hospitals and healing centers, and it really is mainstream. I was living in this little village there at an ashram, and just down the road they had built this like grand facility, and it was all Ayurvedic medicine, Ayurvedic practitioners, very modern, very clean, very pristine environment. And I was just really impressed because, I mean, I didn't necessarily expect to see that. I didn't really know what to expect, but that was outside of Bangalore, and it was just really cool to see that, and how practitioners were coming to the ashram and showing us, you know, making all the different oils and concoctions with the herbs, and massage therapists were coming and giving us the herbal massages. And it was really, really cool to see that, you know, yeah, they can come to your home and do it that way, but they're also like legit, like beautiful treatment centers that are serving huge populations of people. And yeah, that's a really, really cool thing. So it's like mainstream there. It's not like the alternative medicine like here. So Ayurveda came to the West with the New Age movement, and basically tagged along with yoga and Eastern spiritualism that made its way over to the US and like the more Western world. So I'm really grateful it came over. It definitely helped me during a time of need. It continues to help me and enrich my life. And yeah, you're from India now. How cool, 2 a.m. Sweet. What part of India are you in? I've only been outside of Bangalore, and it was really cool. I would definitely love to go back. Really, really cool. Honored you're here. So, and I wanted to mention this too. So Ayurveda's definition of health comes from a Sanskrit word, which I'm probably about to mispronounce, but it's svastha. It's a state in which the mind, soul, and senses interact harmoniously to experience a feeling of self, wellness, and even bliss. Now, that to me is health. That's truly health. And the fact that like that is like at the root and like kind of the goal and the reference point in Ayurveda is so beautiful and resonates so much, because, you know, compare that to kind of how Western medicine, do they even define health? No, it's like, you know, someone who's like not obese or, you know, not dying of a disease. It's the focus is not on the health over in the West. It's on, you know, the disease processes and the symptoms and the pharmaceuticals and the V word that I'm not gonna say that I talked about in my last live. Oh, you're in Delhi. Awesome. Never been there. It's probably pretty big, I would think. Very cool. So that's just scratching the surface of Ayurveda. If you're tuning in late, you can watch this on the replay. I will put this on my IGTV, and if I'm able to download it, fingers crossed, pretty much, you know, I never know if I'm gonna be able to download it. I will also put it on my YouTube channel, Taylor A. Norris. You should go over there and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Have fun over there too. I usually put all my Insta lives over there, so it's a good place to watch them. All right, so next question, kind of keeping on with the Ayurveda theme up here. What should we expect to find in your new book? So if you didn't know already, I finished my third book, Raw Food Ayurveda, Volume 3. And it is, so I have a physical, right? This is the proof. That's why it has like the line going across. You know, in yours, if you order a paperback, it's not going to have the line. That's just because I wanted to check it, make sure it was okay. And then also in the back, it had 2 different barcodes, and I like freaked out when I got this, and I was like, guys, you have to remove a barcode. And they're like, it's just like that because it's a proof. But anyway, this is my new book, and if you look, I'm doing a giveaway. Yes, you can enter if you haven't already. The details are a few posts back, and basically I'm giving away a paperback and an ebook copy to the first prize winner and an ebook copy to the second prize winner. And there are instructions on how you can enter. It's only 2 more days, so the rest of today and tomorrow you can do what I said to do and you will be entered. But if you were like, I already entered, I already did the things, you can still share my posts. You can share my posts when I'm like holding the book in your stories and tag me, and I will give you an extra entry. You can also tag an additional 3 friends on that post, and you will have an extra entry that way. So the question was what to expect. Well, this is the 3rd volume. So I have Raw Food Ayurveda Volume 1 and Volume 2, and this one is like the best one yet. It's kind of similar to the other ones in that there's information about Ayurveda and raw food lifestyle. There are tips for each dosha for every single recipe, as well as sections in the beginning that give, it's like the most in-depth kind of guide to each dosha. It's really cool. The beginning bits are really good, the information sections, and they're like really beautifully laid out. So yeah. So there's a dosha balancing for Vata. More for Vata. You're just gonna have more and more information there. And then for Pitta as well, you have some information, lots of information. And then the same for Kapha. So going through each dosha, as well as I have a little weight loss section for Kapha dosha, because some of the recipes are really good for that in this book. So weight loss for Kapha section, and then we dive into the recipes. And here's the recipe index here. You can see there are 47 low-fat raw vegan recipes in here, and they're all gluten-free, they're all oil-free, they're all soy-free. What else free? That's okay, you're not vegan. Like, if you're not vegan, you're still welcome here. Like, this is a safe space, you know? It's all good. But yeah, 47 raw vegan recipes in here. There are some that contain salt. Many do not contain salt. And that might be salt in the form of coconut aminos. There are some that contain some nutritional yeast. I just want to be upfront about this because I know some people don't eat those things, and you don't want to like buy a book and, you know, be like, oh my God, there's nutritional yeast. Like, I don't do that. But it's not like it's in every recipe. There is cacao in some of these, which you can, I talk a lot about substitutions too. So if you don't do a certain ingredient, I give you other substitutions. And of course you can customize. You know, that's like, I'm really big on customizing. That's why, y'all, I have all these spices right here, and I sit and eat like right at this table so that I'm like constantly customizing my food when I eat and tweaking. But yeah, you need a high-speed blender, you need a dehydrator to make these. You know, some recipes you don't need those things, but others you do. There is a juice recipe. But yeah, it's like, it's so beautiful, y'all. Really, really beautiful. Like, I'm so proud of it. The recipes are delicious. They're sweet, they're savory. It's super colorful. It's gonna make you wanna actually make the food and plate it up and make it look nice. And then, yeah, there are, oh, this is cool. There's a lot of things that are like heartier, like that I basically lived on last winter. So some good like holiday dishes, some like fancy things. And then this one is like the easiest thing. These, I call them lazy noodles because they are, you don't have to really do much. But yeah, some like fancier things that you can make. Yeah, some fun little like hors d'oeuvre type things. I've got, oh y'all, these crackers are bomb, and this bacon is bomb. I made it and I was like, oh my God, nailed it. I've got some different soups. I love soups like so much. So much. Yeah, some cozy soups. This broccoli cheesy soup, I was eating that so much last winter. And then this one's really fun for holidays. There's a whole sweet treat section with some of my favorite pies that I like to make. And yeah, I'll show y'all one I made last Thanksgiving. This is the one I made, and it was epic. Like this, I think I might have made this for Christmas too because it was so good and it was like back by demand. But yeah, there's some other pies that are really excellent if you're like, I'm going to a holiday thing and, you know, I don't know what to bring. You could bring something like this and like blow everyone away. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, this is the book, and like I said, I will announce the giveaway winners on Friday. There will be 2 of those. I might come on live and do that. We'll see. And I probably will. And yeah, you'll probably, like, if you see me go live on Friday, go there because I'll announce the giveaway winners, and I might announce something else for other people to get a little, shall we say, gift or discount on the book if you maybe didn't win it, because there are only 2 winners and you still want to get it. The book will be available for purchase on Friday. That drops. And yeah, I'm really, really excited. So thank you for that question. Letting me plug myself. Enter the giveaway if you haven't already. So next question was, how do I incorporate Ayurveda into my raw vegan lifestyle? And yeah, my books like share with you how I do that, aspects of that, focusing mostly on diet. In my next book, and the third one, I go more into like the other ways Ayurveda informs my existence and can inform your existence depending on whatever dosha you are. So really though, Ayurveda is like awareness for me. It's holistic awareness. It is a way of seeing reality. It is a way of viewing reality through an elemental perspective. Yeah, and I've really thought about this, like, based on my location too. So I was in this beautiful magical place called Waipio Valley a few days ago. That's where I got some of these interesting fruits. And you know, it really struck me, like, the lushness of it, and the water and the earth element just like in abundance there. And really it had like a kapha dosha energetic feel. It was so peaceful and mellow, and things just growing profusely because there's such abundance of water, and there's such abundance of like rich earth, rich fertile soil where everything grows. Like there are a bunch of taro farmers down there, and bananas and coconuts, and I mean the most exotic, beautiful tropical fruits ever. Things that I'm not familiar with, things that like I'm familiar with, like a different variety, but I mean just everything growing there. Hey Carly, why do vegans eat fake meat? If you're against eating animals, then why eat food that's meant to taste like animals? That's a great question. DM me that and I can talk about that. But yeah, I'll make a note of that. But yeah, starting to see reality and locations through an Ayurvedic lens. So if I were to go live in Waipio Valley, which y'all, I think I might, we'll see. I'd really have to monitor that kapha doesn't get out of balance, that kapha remains in balance, because with such a kapha environment, you know, it could be balancing to me, because I'm more of a vata pitta type, but for someone who has like a kapha imbalance, living in a super kapha environment could create some imbalances that, relax, it's okay. You just have to be aware and make some adjustments. So welcome to everyone who's coming in. I appreciate y'all being there, being here. We're together in my little like zone of amazingness. Anyway, so another example of that would be the desert. So I lived in the desert before I came to Hawaii. I was in Arizona, and really, really hot, really, really dry. Very vata in the winter time, in particular when it's just cold and so dry and just rough and barren, and you know, spacious too, which is nice. And then having the extreme pitta, the extreme fire element coming forward in the summer times there. So someone who is more of a vata pitta could be very, very out of balance in the high desert, especially someone with a pitta imbalance in the desert in the summertime. That could be a really, really challenging spot to be in. So those are some different ways to, you know, start looking at your environment through an Ayurvedic lens that maybe you hadn't thought of before. So Ayurveda really reminds me to pay close attention to what I eat and what I consume. So like in all my books, I'm talking about tips for your dosha, and you know, how to make different tweaks, maybe what ingredients to include, what ingredients to skip, depending on if you're vata, pitta, or kapha. We have some music in the background. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's Daft Punk. It's so funny. My landmates are playing that, as well as the roosters, of course, are ambient noise here. So yeah, bear with me. So Ayurveda reminds me, you know, to really focus on what I eat and like how those foods are affecting my body, but also to attend to those other areas of healthy lifestyle, because you know, you can have the most dialed in diet and like be doing it perfect, but your mind is like a little bit not balanced, right? And you might need some yoga and some pranayama, or maybe again your diet's perfect but you're not moving your body. Okay, so move your body. Another one, maybe you're going all the time, stressed out, high energy, super productive, workaholic. That's great, you're getting a lot done, but what about relaxation time? What about breathing and grounding and spending some time in nature, getting a massage, using the medicated oils, using even just, some sesame oil, or I got this new blend of oils with sandalwood in it. Oh my God, it is so good. I put it on before this started. It's so nice. But like really starting to take care of yourself and tune into yourself holistically. The essential oils, I talk about that in my book too. That was one of the total dosha balancing sections. I talk about like what essential oils for your dosha, what crystals for your dosha. That was a fun one. Also in really making sure I get time in nature every single day to tune into the natural world, to tune into my environment, to tune into the natural elements, as well as dosha specific exercise. So someone who has kapha imbalance is going to need different exercise than someone who has vata imbalance. The vata imbalance person is going to be better served with like a yin yoga, restorative, a gentle walk outside. Someone with kapha imbalance needs like a diverse exercise routine where they're doing like different things every day, and it's more vigorous, it's more active. So, keeping in tune with that in myself. And I'm going to talk about exercise a little later because someone was asking about that. Thanks for all the love. I appreciate it. That's awesome. So, and also the recreation and joyful connection. Can't forget about those. Having some fun, some adventures, some whatever it is, creative time, whatever like gets you excited and feeling like a little kid, being around horses or animals. I love animals so much. Being outside, going on adventures, camping, hiking, swimming, snorkeling, seeing like turtles. I saw these turtles at the beach the other day, and that was just like so cool. And another thing with how do I include Ayurveda, this one's not sexy, but it is like the thing, and it is routine. Boring but effective, okay? So having regular waking and sleeping times so that my body can adjust itself and like have a rhythm, establish a rhythm. Having regular meal times. Like I know I'm not gonna eat until 10 o'clock or later. I've got my juice here. I break my fast with this every day. It's starting to separate a little bit there because it's been sitting. But having regular meal times also really, really helps with balance, with staying grounded, with keeping those different doshas working together harmoniously. Having work time happen at a certain time, so not just like, okay, yeah, you work all until like 1 a.m., right? Like, no, like there are work hours, and keep those boundaries sacred. Exercising at a similar time. I exercise in the morning. Find that works really well for me. Usually doing some movement in the afternoon as well, and staying fairly active as I can. Scheduling like errands, recreation time, fun, all of those things, making sure they all happen, but having a routine. And when you have even like a few of those elements, say you're waking and you're sleeping and your work time as well as your meal times, then you can do this thing, habit stacking in between everything else that needs to get done, maybe like the littler things. So I know that after I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and tongue scrape before I drink and make my lemon water, because it's really good. That's an Ayurvedic practice, the tongue scraping. I use a copper tongue scraper that removes all the ama, the toxins that accumulate in your tongue and in your mouth overnight. And you wanna remove those before you're consuming your healing, hot lemon water herbal tonic. Like, get rid of the toxins, have that, flush the body, and enjoy that. So that's one way I habit stack. Also, in the evening, I'm doing my skin brushing before I showered, followed by the oil massages and essential oils. So that's all stacked together. And then I'm making my dinner. So you can really plug in some of the smaller habits if you have like a structure, some kind of framework, some kind of routine already established with those regular times throughout your day. All right. What else we got? I think that's it about Ayurveda. There's a lot of different ways, so that's what was coming forward this morning when I made my notes. All right, so the next question was weight loss on a vegan diet and a raw vegan diet. And yeah, what a topic. Again, this could be its own live, and I probably will do a weight loss live in the future because that is definitely near and dear to my heart because yeah, it's challenging. It can be really, really challenging and frustrating and confusing because every single influencer is telling you a different thing and every teacher has a different program and some of them contradict each other wildly. So it's like, oh, can I eat like as many calories as I want and expect to lose weight or find my optimal weight? And it sounds really good and it's, yeah, really exciting. Then another influencer saying, no, you need like this specific amount, and others are saying, no, you need to find what works for you, and some are saying you don't even need to worry about calories at all, eat all you care for. It's like, what do I do? So I've done a lot of those things, and really just switching to vegan initially, I dropped a bunch of weight, and I find a lot of people I work with, the same thing happens to them because calorie density. You know, you go from eating the same portion of animal product containing food to the same portion of food that doesn't have animal products in it, say like mostly vegetables and some tofu or something, and you're talking about way less calories, so the pounds are gonna fall right off at the beginning. And that happened to me. I remember my family was like worried about me. They were like, oh my god, you know, you got really thin really fast. And I was like, oh, I love it, you know. But then the weight started, you know, came back on because I started like, you know, making lots of vegan cookies and like, you know, having like almond butter on everything and maple syrup and, you know, not really knowing what I was doing. And I didn't start really having sustainable weight loss and dialing in, you know, a trajectory towards my ideal weight until I did a 30-day juice cleanse, which was also my first raw vegan extravaganza experience, where I was like, oh my god, this is the best I've ever felt in my life. And during that juice cleanse, I've talked about it many times on here and other places, I really, really studied how to do a vegan diet healthfully, you know, learning about whole food, plant-based nutrition and how to implement that. So coming out of my juice cleanse, I didn't just go back to eating what I had been eating before because I had packed on weight doing that. And I'd also been over-medicated, which was not helping with that. It was making things worse in terms of my weight and my health. So after the juice cleanse, I implemented Dr. Joel Fuhrman's Nutritarian plan that is a high raw plan. It was maybe about 50% raw, and it was also a calorie deficit plan. It was not a, oh, eat as much as you want, like it's fine plan. I was paying attention to my calories, and I was also like running, I was moving my body. So, and weight came off that way. And about 6 months into that, I found raw vegan and started doing low fat, fruit-based raw vegan and had even better results with that. So that has really worked well for me. You know, where I've tripped up, slipped up is letting cooked foods back into my world and, you know, on like a more raw till force style, which if you're coming from that background, it works for you, that's great. For me, when I'm having cooked starches and potatoes and stuff, I do put on weight, I put on water weight and inflammation. I start choosing other foods that, you know, like the barbecue sauce at the store, yeah, it's vegan, but it contains things that really don't serve me, and like refined sugars and maybe some preservatives or something. And it's easy for me to like overeat potatoes. You know, I know some people it's like not a trigger, but for me, you know, shifting into that cooked food mentality, I'm not getting in the raw food, I'm not getting in the micronutrients that I need. So that's not been serving me in terms of weight loss. As well as, you know, going higher fat raw, that doesn't serve me in terms of weight loss and ideal weight maintenance. It's really easy for me to start eating overeating macadamia nuts, for example, roasted salted when I first came here. I was eating way too many of those and had to be like, okay, like this needs to stop. Because when we go through life transitions and like this global drama stuff that's going on, like that's stressful. And many of us who are not maybe drinking or smoking or doing drugs anymore are turning to food for comfort, or maybe you're over exercising or you're doing some other addiction, but food is a very common addiction and way to numb and soothe oneself in times of stress and turmoil. So those are like how not to lose weight. But lately, really, I was at like a very healthy weight February, March of this year, but still not quite where I wanted to be. And then all the craziness that y'all know very well started up, and slowly I started making some different food choices that weren't necessarily serving me, and had put on some weight, so that in August I was like, something needs to change. I really need to dial things back in, and I did. And the last, let's see, September, October, November, beginning of December, like I've lost a lot of excess weight, and I'm continuing to like lose weight and reshape my body, and it's awesome. I've added in some different tweaks that have been incredibly helpful, and let me see. What, I have all these notes and I've just been talking. Yeah, I started dialing it in. Yeah, okay, so how have I been losing this weight? I've been practicing my own take on low-fat raw vegan, heavily influenced by the wonderful Tanny Raw. If y'all don't know her and you don't follow her, go check her out. She's on YouTube, she's on Instagram. And she teaches an 80-10-10 style of raw vegan, with her own tweaks, her very specific tweaks, and some of those have been absolute game changers for me. So I've taken in a lot of her teachings and like mishmashed it with other things that I do. But really, if you are on a vegan diet, standard diet, raw vegan diet, and you're not losing the weight, it's not happening for you, and you really want some help and support, go do her reset. Tanny offers resets every other month, and those are just so phenomenal if you're wanting to lose weight, because she gives you a specific plan with how many calories you should eat, because in my experience that does matter. And yeah, like it, what's her YouTube? She's Tanny Raw on YouTube, and she's Tanny Raw on Instagram, and her resets are extremely powerful group coaching experiences. She's doing another one in January, and I'm gonna do it because the support of having a group of people who are all doing the same thing while you're trying to achieve your goals, they're trying to achieve their goals, and it's just this supportive container where she's also feeding you like a lot of information and recipes. So that is really, really good. I hope to do some kind of program similar, but like my own style, different, down the road. But if you're like needing help now, I'd say go over there and aloha. Check that out. You can be in the January reset. I'm gonna be there. All right, let's see what else we got. So just, if you're like, I'm not gonna do that, whatever, just some key elements for weight loss, I would say, is low fat raw vegan. Definitely hands down been the best, most effective thing for me, as well as balanced green smoothies, not just doing a lot of fruit smoothies and fruit juices and like out of control mono meals. I know some people can eat like a reasonable amount, but others it's like, I can eat 6 papayas and not be satisfied, whereas I can have 1 papaya blended in with berries and greens and chia and a few other things and be satisfied. So really having balanced smoothies can super help. Really focusing on veggies, on greens, on living foods, nutrient density, and not just thinking about carbs, or getting in sugar, or getting in fruit, but thinking about how many nutrients per calorie in every bite of food can I ingest and consume. And this is something that Dr. Furman teaches, and I found him right after my juice cleanse, so the seed was already planted, and Tanny teaches that. I'm spewing that out now too, because it really is. It's so important if you're trying to lose weight. If you're getting enough micronutrients, you're going to be able to eat the correct amount of macronutrients within your ideal calorie framework, and you'll feel full and satisfied, versus if you're doing just like low calorie on fruit, trying to lose weight. I've done that before, and I've had cravings and felt out of balance and felt kind of deprived and like gone to bed just straight up hungry. Whereas if you're doing lower calorie, but adequate calories, I'm not talking starvation plan, I'm talking slight caloric deficit for weight loss, and you're incorporating the veggies, the fruits, the greens, the living foods, lots of micronutrients, then I go to bed and I feel satisfied. I don't feel hungry. I feel like I've had enough. So that's a really big game changer. Also having low but adequate fat daily. I'm having fat every day and still losing weight. Some teachers say if you have fat on your body, and you're trying to lose weight, you should just take out all the fat, and that might serve you. I know for some people it serves them, but for me that sets me up for imbalance, because I'll go over fat-free for months, and then I'll crave it later on and end up overindulging. So the happy medium between that is just to incorporate the right amount every single day, and then there is no binge, there's no purge, there's none of that happening. How many bananas? Is too many bananas bad for weight loss? Yeah, I mean, if you're eating 20 bananas a day, and let's say that's 2,000 calories, and then you're having like a smoothie, a salad at night, and let's say for you to lose weight you only need 1,800 calories, well, you've gone way over that just with the bananas, not even factoring in the salad. So it's really a matter of how many calories do you need per day, and making sure you stay within that. But yeah, I love bananas. I eat bananas every day. They're one of my favorite smoothie ingredients. So I'm eating them every day, and I'm not eating as many as I was before. So you got to find out like the right amount for you, depending on what your calorie range is. And I don't agree with just saying everyone needs 2,000 calories, or everyone needs 2,500 calories, or everyone needs 3,000 calories. I think it's much more individualized than that. So track in chronometers, see where you're at, and also have an idea of how many calories you need, and you can figure that out. But yeah, bananas I think can be a part of any weight loss plan. I love them, and love like all the different varieties of them. I'm gonna have ice cream bananas in my smoothie today. They're so good. Okay. Yeah, and like I said, I will eventually run a weight loss challenge or cleanse in the future. And yeah, so one-on-one group coaching, one-on-one like private coaching, individual coaching, as well as group coaching. If you want like the group coaching, go do Tanny's Reset. She also does individual coaching. I do individual coaching too. So DM me if you're interested in that, and I can hook it up. So I love working with people who are actually ready to change and get results. That is the best, like people who are like, oh, like I kind of want to, and then don't do anything. That's frustrating. But if you're like, dude, I'm ready, like shoot me a DM and we can go. All right, next question. Do you exercise? The answer is yes. I love exercising so much. I always have. I do Zuzka Light, and that is an online gym, online Z gym. Zuzka, Zuzka, separate word, light, like, bright light. And it's wonderful, and it's varied exercises. She gives you like a weekly schedule, and you're doing different things every day. So it's like cardio, kettlebells, jump rope, dumbbells, power band. What else I got over there? She does yoga, Pilates, cardio, kickbox, strength days that are like slower workouts, HIIT days that are really fast, bar inspired, Pilates inspired, all different kinds of things. Mobility therapy, it's really, really well-rounded fitness, and I highly recommend it. And it's really great for cough imbalance if you need a diverse schedule of workouts where you're feeling like jazzed and into it every day, then that is the way to go. Do you grow some of your own food? Yes, I do. I grow tons of microgreens, and I'll show y'all those in a little bit. But yeah, I'm looking to grow even more like fruit trees, and I'm actually looking into caretaking opportunities, so I will get to caretake beautiful fruit trees, and yeah, I'll show y'all as that progresses. Definitely. I would love to be doing a live at like some beautiful property and being like, here is the mangosteen tree and there's the durian tree. So that's what we're working on manifesting for more, say like January, February lives. But yeah, you betcha. I'll share it as soon as it happens. But yeah, we'll do microgreens in just a minute. Yeah, about the exercise, I also wanted to add, so I do more of the high intensity thing, and then I'm doing stretching every day, and that kind of maintains the Vata, Pitta, Kapha balance. Woo, yoga. And I'm not a naturally flexible person. I can be really stiff and inflexible, and I much prefer to be flexible and fluid and mobile. So I stretch every day, and I love it. Most days I also do mobility therapy for the joints, like working, it's like 12 minutes where you work on like overhead press motion, or like, different positions, hang archetype, hips, squats, lunges, and really get into those joints, glutes. It's wonderful. I stay active by going on walks, hikes, adventures in nature, swimming, all of those things. So that is exercise. Have I ever gotten sick as a raw vegan like the flu? That was the next question, and the answer is yes, I have. It was 2 years ago. I was coming off of coffee, and I hadn't been raw. I guess I wasn't raw at the time, but I was getting back into raw, and when I got off of coffee, I was like down for 3-4 days, feeling extremely ill, flu-like symptoms. Very fatigued, very tired, cranky, terrible headache, feverish, chills, sweats, really not in a good place. And yeah, I had no appetite, and that was 3 or 4 days. I was actually on a cruise and like in another country, and it was not pleasant, but I was like, I need to get off coffee right now because this is poison, and I don't care if I feel terrible. And I'm really glad I did. I haven't been back on it since. And then about a month or 2 later, I got sick again with a cold. And I think I had been raw very consistently since in that span of time. And I was at a workplace, and I didn't, like everyone had already gotten sick, and I didn't feel that sick. So I went to work. I felt well enough to go to work, but my nose was really runny, and I was working in like a food packing, like I was dealing with food, and my nose was runny, so I ended up going home, and because I didn't want to like be spreading my germs in the food. And I rested for a couple days, and I was fine. And that was January of 2019. I haven't been sick since, and like for that little illness, I didn't have to take medicine or anything. I think I used some nose spray, but that was it. And yeah, I was fine. So not sick since then, and not worried about getting sick or catching anything that's going around, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I'm not gonna be peer pressured into getting any V words for anything either, because I focus on building natural, strong immune system and creating the conditions for health in my body, mind, and spirit every single day. All right. So last question is, what happens when you put crystals near your food? And to that, I would have to say magic. Magic. It depends on the crystals. Yeah, I've got one right here. This is opalite. I got this at the market last week. I really like it. This one's not natural, but I resonated with it. Y'all can see there are crystals right up there. But yeah, so what the crystals does with the food, you can supercharge your food. You can do this like in your fruit stash, like put some crystals with your fruits. That is very good. You can energize the food. You can also infuse the food with an intention, but you don't even need a crystal to do that. Hey Richard, welcome. You can infuse, like I can infuse this juice like this with just intention. But if I had a crystal, you know, that could like supercharge it even more, but I could like, you know, infuse it with the healing intention that this heal and cleanse my body and digest well and help my digestive system help heal itself and function optimally. You know, you can really just infuse anything with intention, with love, with good vibes. But the crystals are kind of an external physical manifestation of that, representation of that. You can use the crystals to help purify your food. Let's say somebody else made your food and you're like, they were kind of angry when they were making the food, like it was nice of them to make it for me, but I feel like they're mad at me. Or you could use the crystals or, you know, your hands again to just be like, all right, we're clearing this of any negative energy, you know, and putting only love and healing vibes in it. Could do something like that. Or say you go to a restaurant and they serve you water and you don't know if it's tap water or like disgusting water or nice water. You could do the same thing and kind of charge that up, like, come on, like charge it up, purify it. That could help. But yeah, those are some different ideas. I'm also experimenting with using my crystals. You crush crystals in powder and put it in your smoothies. That would like really hurt going down. Oh my god, that's too funny. But yeah, I'm using some crystals in my microgreen situation. I can show you all that. Let's go over there. But yeah, these are crystals right up here. That's another man-made one. And then sodalite. Let me flip y'all around. Yeah, sodalite. I forget, chrysocolla. That's another one. These were all from Arizona. And here we go. Over to the microgreen area. Enjoy the background music. That's not mine. I've got some crystals right here. That's a hematite and something else. I don't know. I just have a huge bag of them. And these are blacked out. So these are little babies under here. You can see the trays. And yeah, those are germinating. This is a hydroponic mix and it has amaranth. Y'all can see that because it's all nice and pink. It's got some other things in there like mustard and I forget what else. This is my first time growing it because I'm using these hemp grow mats. And yeah, so I'm doing more of a hydroponic vibe. These are straight amaranth. And those are so beautiful. I just brought these two to the light today. And yeah, and if you notice, I'm not putting them under like the grow light here because amaranth is really sensitive and it will burn out if you do that. I've got some others germinating here. So this one is, I think this is my cabbage. This is broccoli and another tray of amaranth because it tastes so good. It's like sweet and it's a good one to put in smoothies. And I've got crystals on top of those. I've got one hematite on each. And that one's like going to clear it of negative energy and hopefully protect it from mold and pests and that kind of thing. And then I just miscellaneously like chose this one and that one came out. It was like the one that wanted to be on this tray. And the same thing here. I've got one hematite and one, I'm not sure what this is. Can't really, it's pretty dark. Yeah. But yeah, and then up here we've got peas that I harvested. I think I harvested those yesterday, but they will grow another round. You see there are like tons of little leaves up there still. And then the same, I harvested these a few days ago and they will grow another round. Both of these I could get at least 2 more trays out of. Yeah, one out of this, one out of this. I might get a third harvest too. We will see how that goes. And then this, I've been eating off of this for like over a week. I've just been harvesting a little bit for my soup in the evening. So that's probably maybe one night of soup left. But those are cabbage. Those are golden acre cabbage microgreens right there. And this whole top row here was grown in soil. These are endive, and they are doing really well. They're actually like kind of going into the baby salad phase, which I'm pretty stoked about. I harvested a little on the edge there and a little on the edge here, just so me and my friend Tina could try them out. But they will go to baby salad if you grow them in soil, and that's what I'm doing, because I thought, why not? I've got time and I've got other ones to eat, so that's what's going on. Then I'll show you over here in my little humble kitchen. We've got the purple Sango radish, and they are really, really lovely. I had some of these last night, and the color is just insane. Like, and they taste really good. They are spicy like radish, truly radish, but yeah, these are just going in the now jars, and I've got 2 hematites there to help protect from fruit flies, as well as a little trap, because yeah, the fruit flies or whatever, I don't even know like what kind of flies. It's like various flies. They are vicious, and they will be all up in there if I'm not careful. So those are the microgreens I've got growing right now. I just started with the hemp mats, and these are like all my first trays with the hemp mats, and so far I'm really happy with them. And yeah, I'm definitely going to continue using soil for peas, sunflowers, and buckwheat, but I'm going to use the hemp mats for everything else that doesn't require soil, because it's easy, and I think it's going to be great for harvesting, and yeah, just work out really well. But anyway, y'all, I just want to remind y'all that the book giveaway is going on, so please check that out if you haven't already entered. That is in a previous post. It's like my first post of me holding the book, and it's only 2 more days, you know, the rest of today and tomorrow, that you can enter. And if you're like, I already entered, you can share any of my posts of me with the book, and you can get an extra entry. So go ahead and do that. I'll be giving away a paperback and ebook, and there will be 2 winners. I will announce those Friday, and the book will be live to purchase as well as an ebook and as a paperback on Amazon. So thanks so much for tuning in. As I said, I will post this on my IGTV as well as my YouTube channel, Taylor A. Norris, in case you missed some of it and you want to watch the replay. It will be there. But yeah, that's all I got. DM me with questions, because I will keep doing these as long as I have questions. And maybe if it's not a question, you know, you can ask about a topic too, and I can do maybe a deeper dive on a certain topic. We'll play with it, but I'll definitely keep doing lives every week, because I really enjoy these and appreciate y'all being here. Thanks so much. Much love to you. Namaste.